sort of nervous donors wondering if Jeb Bush is the right horse to ride all the way through. Does he have what it takes to go to the distance here? But and he clearly didn't deliver last night. But we are still 3 months away from votes being passed, and I think it would be premature to sort of declare Jeb Bush dead. I do think he has a major task ahead of him now, because what were nervous donors on Monday are now going to start being sort of panic donors and supporters, and because Rubio had such a good night, he's going to get a very good hearing from those folks looking for an establishment horse to ride.
Larry, I gotta say that Rubio just made Jeb Bush look kind of old and tired.
Well, I think you're right, and I think David's right. It was a horrible night for Jeb Bush, and it was exactly what his donors weren't looking for. They've been nervous enough as it is, and the horse that they decided to ride a long time ago has proven that he can't really get around the track. Look, it's more fundamental than whether Jeb Bush performs in debates well, because he doesn't. It's that the man doesn't meet the moment. Republicans couldn't be more obvious about what they're looking for. They want an outsider, an anti-establishment candidate, and Jeb Bush is the ultimate establishment candidate. It's his last name. He's never going to get beyond that.
Interesting. So is Marco Rubio that outside-the-box candidate, David? Because he serves in the Senate, although he doesn't vote much these days.
Marco Rubio may have that ability to sort of straddle the divide. I mean, he came into the Senate on that Tea Party wave in 2010 and had a lot of that conservative grassroots support in Florida. And yet, he is an establishment guy, right? I mean, former Speaker of the House in Florida, has been part of the GOP sort of establishment wing in the party. If he can straddle that divide, that will do him a lot of good. But listen, Marco Rubio wakes up in a new world this morning. He had a very good performance last night. Now comes the level of scrutiny he has never experienced before, and now we see how he holds up in the glare of that new spotlight.
All right, Marco Rubio actually appeared on New Day early this morning. Here's a bit of what he had to say.
I don't like missing votes. I hate it. And we do our best effort to make, and we've canceled campaign events, especially for important votes. And we will definitely be there for any vote in which our vote would be decisive in making a difference on the outcome. So the bottom line is we're going to continue to serve the people of Florida, and we're going to run for president aggressively.
So here's the thing about this, Larry, because this is what the exchange between Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio was all about. Maybe it's my Midwest work ethic, but I believe when you're hired for a job, you should perform the tasks and you should go to work. But that doesn't seem to be resonating. It didn't resonate last night at all.
Library of Congress tonight with a lot of his friends and well-wishers and members of Congress. Hundreds of people are expected there, I'm told. But then the real hard aspect of legislating will occur. This budget deal passed the House yesterday. It's now going to the Senate. But then the issue about figuring out that line-by-line spending to avoid a government shutdown is something that he'll have to worry about, in addition to figuring out how to pay for highway programs and depleted highway trust fund, another big issue that he will have to deal with immediately. So today is a day of ceremony, but then the real hard work of legislating begins immediately after, Carol.
All right, Manu Raja reporting live for us this morning. Thank you. Still to come in the newsroom, a major change in China. It just scrapped that strict one-child policy. Talk about that next.
You wouldn't order Szechuan without checking the spice level. It really opens the passages. Clear. So why would you invest without checking broker check? Check your broker with broker check.
Well, if it isn't developable.
Gentlemen, you look well. What's new? Well, I think it's right.
competition. And as the stakes get higher, so the chumminess of the past debates is beginning to fall away. As the candidates take to the stage last night in Boulder, most of them shake hands, or at least acknowledge one another cordially, but you could feel the tension, cut it with a knife, when Marco Rubio came face to face with his one-time mentor, Jeb Bush. Let's watch that again. And take note of that death stare that Bush sends over to Rubio. There it is, no grin, just a smirk, and certainly no handshake. And what about this moment that seemed to happen over and over again? Donald Trump grabbing a hold of his microphone.
I think maybe my greatest weakness is that I trust people too much. I never filed for bankruptcy, but many, many people did. What happened with Atlantic City is very, very disgraceful. He got lucky with fracking, believe me. That's why Ohio is doing well. And that's important for you to know.
Okay, so let's talk about this. I'm joined by body language expert and author of The Power of Body Language, Tanya Ryman. Tanya, welcome back. It's so nice to have you here again.
Thank you.
So what do you see when you watch Mr. Trump grab his microphone?
You know, a lot of times with him, I think early on in this, he was trying to control his movements because he is such a big gesticulator. So that's something called like a displacement activity. In other words, he holds onto the microphone, it helps him to stay focused, and he doesn't have to then make all the big movements.
Interesting. Okay, so let's go back to Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio and watch that moment where Rubio responds to Bush's attack.
Okay.
You can campaign or just resign and let someone else take the job.
The only reason why you're doing it now is because we're running for the same position, and someone has convinced you that attacking me is going to help you. Here's the bottom line. My campaign is going to be about the future of America. It's not going to be about attacking anyone else on the stage.
Okay, so what does Bush's body language say to you?
That was so great because did you see, okay, so Rubio faces him, right, makes eye contact, and as Bush turns, he does make eye contact, but initially he automatically closes up his body language, and then you just see that little contemptuous smile that he's becoming well known for now. He doesn't have a good poker face, and so then Rubio turns back, and what happens? Bush starts to now rub his hands together. So you see that hit a chord. He lost it a little bit here. A few points there,
yeah. Okay, let's talk about Ben Carson. He rubbed his hands a lot. Let's watch a clip where he's discussing his stance on gay marriage.
I also believe that marriage is between one man and one woman, and that there is no reason that you can't be perfectly fair to the gay community. They shouldn't automatically assume that because you believe that marriage is between one man and one woman, that you are a homophobe.
Okay, so I know why I rub, because I do the same thing sometimes, but I know why I do it, but why do both Ben Carson and I do that?
Well, you know, a lot of people do it just to get rid of anxiety, just to, again, release tension. It's called a self-adapter. We feel like we rub ourselves. It makes us feel better. He is also a surgeon, which I keep getting, you know, text messages, but he's a surgeon. So is he imagining he's washing his hands 25 times? I don't know. He does it way too often now. In addition, because what happens is, this is the deal. It's not about what the reason you're doing it for is. It's about how it's being perceived. So it doesn't matter if I do it just because I'm a surgeon. What matters is how are you going to walk away and what are you going to be thinking about why I did it? So in addition to that, he also has another normal baseline. He keeps his eyes closed, and I think we talked about this before. This is something that people go, that's a red flag, but it's his baseline. So you have to realize it and just get over it.
Okay, let's go back to Marco Rubio, because you said he did the best in his closing statement.
Yes.
So let's watch a bit of that.